Hey, what's up, guys? This is TBone here. So, I'm here doing a Legendary Game of Heroes video, kind of. So, as most of you should know by now, I did stop playing Legendary Game of Heroes about a month ago. And since I've quit, there's actually been a lot of changes, and I've kept up with the news. People have commented and let me know, reach out to me, and sort of told me about these changes. So I knew about the fact that they changed the layout to the vault. They've removed the shield from the board after I made the video about how to use the shield to do a lot of damage, and so all of that gone, right? They also introduced a sort of this what they call the golden vault, right? Which in theory on paper sounds good, and then now this latest and newest thing, Legendary Game of Heroes collectibles, the NFT, right? And so I know a lot of you are probably wondering, like, what is NFT? Like, there's a lot of confusion around what's going on, and so I kind of wanted to reflect on some of these changes, talk a little about them, and hopefully also answer what exactly NFT is, and sort of talk about like, well, now that it's been about a month, right? Have things gone any better, or does it look like it's getting any better? Have the changes that have taken place actually made a difference, right? So I kind of wanted to talk about that, and I did talk about all the reasons I left, right, in one of the previous videos, and you all know that I am now currently playing a different game, Gemstone Legends, and I'm going to talk a little bit about like what were the things that are important for me and what I wasn't getting out of Legendary, and I'm hoping to see whether that is something that has been addressed or not. So we'll see. Okay. So first, let's talk about this thing, Legendary Game of Heroes collectibles, the NFT. So NFT stands for non-fungible tokens. It's not a term that they came up with on their own. It is a thing. Okay, it's real, and they've listed all of their cards on OpenSea.io. So it's basically kind of like it's a way for you to obtain something with full ownership. If you take a look at non-fungible token on Wikipedia, the technical description is a non-fungible token is a unit of data stored on a digital ledger called a blockchain that certifies any digital file to be unique. All of that, right, is a lot of technical jargon, and the most simplest way I can explain this is it does use cryptocurrency technology to, for this, and it's a way for Legendary to give you a card, okay, where you can buy. So they're selling you these cards, and you can see the cards below, okay. Once you purchase them and you get ownership of it, it's guaranteed to be unique. It's kind of like, imagine that it's a signed it's a signed art. Okay, there could be multiple, okay, of the same that are signed, but each of them are in itself unique of a series. All right, so they could have a very limited edition of this, and there could be just the one. There could be many, lots of them. But whatever it is, you will be able to prove ownership of whatever it is you purchase, and because you have full ownership of it, you can then decide what you want to do with it. So you can use it in your own project. For example, you could put it into your you can put in the video or your drawings or whatever it is, and you can include it in there, and you have full rights to it, so you don't have to worry about any licensing issues, anybody suing you for using things that are not your your ownership, or you can sell them. Right, you can sell them using forms like this for whatever it is that you could get money for. All of this is very new things. A lot of different games and other industries are starting to move into NFT, so it's nothing new. Okay, and so I don't necessarily want to say that because it's new, because they're using cryptocurrency, that this is necessarily a bad thing. It's just that I kind of wonder about sort of the direction that they're heading right now in making these cards into collectible items. So if you take a look at the cards that they have available right now, we've got Exenka, Nuriel, Morton, some of these like old cards. And then we have Master Hero, King Bjorn, so like some some ultra rare cards. That's fine. Then we also have the legendary cards, right? These legend cards that are in their pre-ascended form. And so they also have like, videos and stuff. I'm not going to go too much into it. You can kind of check it out for yourself, but you can take a look and sort of realize that the ownership here, these are all owned by Network First. And so you are, to start with, you'll have to purchase it off of them. Okay. So it is their way of saying you have now a way to retain value for the items that you are buying. Okay. And this is something that we've talked about. We want a value for the cards that we purchase in the game. But the problem here is you're not really retaining the value of these cards in the game that you're playing, right? You're obtaining a form of digital art that you can then do something with afterwards, regardless of the game, right? So it has nothing to do with the game, actually. This has everything to do with just, being a collector and being able to use this in a forum where you can, do trading, buy, sell items, but that has nothing to do with the actual enjoyment of the game. And this is kind of like where I want to sort of talk about, sort of my thoughts about how things have been since I've left the game, right? And now it's not a secret to any of you that I've also started recently playing a different game, Gemstone Legends. And it is, it is interesting because some of the things that I'm going to talk about here in like what's very important for me personally. Now it's going to be different for everyone, but some of the things that are important for me that I couldn't find in Legendary is the reasons why I'm playing Gemstone Legends now. Okay, and I think one of the most important aspects of this was I've always talked about how expensive the game is, right? So if you remember when I left, one of the things I said was like, look, like you're gonna get to tier 4 or tier 5 and eventually you're gonna be spending 5,000 and then it goes up to 5,500 gems for every single tier that you're pulling. And then I talked a lot about how everything that you pull, like 90% of it is just basically crap, right? So they removed that. They removed that with the introduction of the Golden Vault, right? So on paper, in theory, it sounds great. Every single tier that you pull, you're guaranteed to get at least a support card, maybe an event card, and then you still have some chances of pulling, one of the golden cards, all right? But a lot of people have done the math around this. If you're not VIP, you're not really getting any benefits from it, okay? Like the odds of you pulling a card that you really need is still about the same, okay? It's just that now instead of getting targets and keys, you're going to get a support card. So in that respect, there is a lot of value add. I will definitely say that there's a lot of value add in there. But then when you take a step back and think about the other problem, okay, problem number 2. Okay, problem number 1, everything's so expensive and whatever you buy just tends to be a lot of crap. So they try to address that with the Golden Vault. Issue number 2, no matter what it is that you get, okay, no matter what card you get, if it doesn't have a pink star on it, if it's not an ultimate form, it doesn't matter. Okay, the game, like, it doesn't matter if you have 1 million support cards, right? First of all, you can only use 5 cards in a team. Okay, so getting more than 5 support cards means that you're going to have to use some of them to awaken a support card, and no one ever should have to awaken support cards because they don't do enough damage to the bosses that have now increased to a point I don't even know what the number is anymore. I know that the very last event they introduced world bosses in a commander event. That was interesting, right? Imagine using a team full of support cards to try and do damage there. That is the experience of a new player, right? And there is no way to advance from a support card to something better. You have to be able to purchase a card that either, you have to get an ultra rare card and a master collection card to get your ultimate form. And to me, that is sort of, an issue that I take, is that yes, they removed the true junky cards from the vault. Great. Now they've added the Golden Vault, which gives you support cards and event cards. Great. But what they haven't really addressed at the root of the issue is that they have devalued every single card that comes out. Okay, it's like the week they come out, it literally has devalued already because it's no longer useful outside of its event. In some cases, it's not even useful in the event that it's in. All right, and so you take a look at some of the legendary, like Generation 2 cards. No one can use them ever anymore, and yet we have Uh, and yet you can see we have Exenka here as a card that you can purchase, right? So, but it's a card that you cannot use in the game anymore. It's no longer useful. And so that's sort of like the fundamental problem I see with the game right now, that they have to address this. And that is the power discrepancy between the cards that you're able to obtain is so ridiculous that if you aren't a big gem spender. Now I say gem spender because like you could be somebody that has collected a lot of gems over time without actually spending a lot, but the reality is those are far and few between, right? For the most part, people who are actually obtaining the best cards to be able to compete at the highest level, they are spending money on a weekly basis, right? Or maybe they're like playing the way I was, managing the gems as much as possible, try to get by every single week, and then maybe you get lucky, and then you get to a point where it becomes normal to say, oh, I shouldn't expect to be able to get something good with the money that I spent because it's supposed to be very terrible luck, right? And that that in itself becomes a vicious cycle where you are always getting so unlucky all the time that when you finally get lucky, you feel like it's, you feel that it's great, right? But the problem is you should be able to get what you want with the money that you're spending, right? And if you're obtaining something, even if it's not going to be, the best card, like that's the whole nature of RNG, that's the whole nature of gacha, totally understand, right? But what do you do with all the support cards that you get? What do you do with all the main heroes that you get, right? There's no path to go from a 6-star support card to a ultimate form. That's not possible. So you cannot expect to use those cards effectively. Now, this is something that I've always known. This is the only thing I knew. Right? The only thing I knew is, look, if you don't get the card that you want, that's too bad. You have to just keep trying until you get something that is advertised to be the best of the week. Well, now that I've seen something different. Okay. What I liked about Gemstone Legends is the fact that if I pulled a card that is 2-star or 3-star in the game, you can go up to 6 stars. Okay. And there's different rarities. If I pulled a 3-star card that is not a legendary card, well, guess what? For the most part, it's still fully relevant. And even if it's super old, it's still relevant. And I could take that card and I can continue to work on it. And then I can get it to 6 stars. And it actually means something. Okay. That to me is a big thing. Being able to take whatever it is that I obtained, and even if I don't get the best ones, there's always going to be a tier of strength of cards. That's the nature of the game, and they want you to be able to they want people to buy those things. That's how business works, right? But as a consumer, if I'm spending money and I get something, sometimes I get what I want, great. But if I don't get what I want, well, the difference between the two models here is one, well, it's too bad, right? I have thousands of cards in my inventory that have nothing inside. Like I don't use them anymore. Okay, they're good for dust, but dust isn't really valuable for anything anymore either. Whereas the other path in Gemstone Legends, I am able to take that card and I can keep it, and I could level it up eventually to 6 stars. Like to me, being able to build on something for a long time and not feel the pressure to have to spend on it every single week to get something new, and then feel like whatever it is I had just purchased a week ago is just, flushed down the toilet because it's no longer useful. Like that to me is important. Like I said, it is going to be different for everyone, but personally from what I've seen, the fundamental issues have not been addressed, right? Like they've made it so that as a VIP player, you have a better chance of pulling something good, and that's great. You do want the VIP players to feel more valued. But fundamentally, like as long as they continue this model where all the cards that you obtain are meaningless unless it's an ultimate form, like if that continues, nothing has changed. Okay. There's a lot of other nuances in the game that I don't think has changed at all. Like all the currencies that you're going to get, like still there, right? You're still using the same currencies, hundreds and hundreds of different types of currencies in the game for various different things. Proving Ground hasn't changed, right? You're still only able to get the one card that's like 10 50 weeks old, right? Once every 5 weeks. And so it's just nothing has really changed. Like it's repackaged a lot, and there's some positive direction in the Golden Vault, but they missed a critical thing for me, and that is the relevance of your cards there's none. Okay, and so when you think about it, is that something that, I don't know, personally for me, it just makes me feel like I'm not sure I want to go out and buy Engineer Exenka. Like, if it was a card that was popular and everybody wanted to use it, awesome, right? It's one that everybody loved, like everybody is like chasing after it, great. But who uses Exenka anymore, right? And if we're gonna place value on something because it's no longer in use and because it's just like, oh, because it's not there, like, I don't know, I just don't see the excitement in that. But if it was changed to a point where like these cards are popular and people can find different ways to make different cards, fun to use, right? Then I could definitely see the draw in this. And NFT is something that is new. Like I said, new doesn't mean bad, and I think that it's really cool actually that Network is expanding and trying something to they're exploring and they're trying something different. They're trying to follow with like sort of like what the industry is trying to do as well. So there's definitely that, and I know that it is going to be very interesting for some of you. Okay, and that's totally awesome. But I just feel that I hope that when I come back, maybe like another month from now, when I take a look back again at the game, that what I can see is that the changes that are being made is made with the idea of giving people who are playing the game something that can actually retain value, right? Instead of this constant cycle of you need to get ultimate form, and once you get the ultimate form, you need a previous team's ultimate form or bust. Okay, and that is something I hope that they really, really think about, because that is the biggest problem right now. Okay, that and the overall cost of the game itself, those two for me are what I think I still would like to see different. And so anyways, I don't want to drag this on for too long. I just wanted to give my take and my thoughts on how I think about what I think about the game since I've left. And to answer the question of if I'm thinking about going back to play, honestly, like, I haven't missed it, but I do miss the people, and I do miss, and I do want to keep up with how things are going, because I have played the game for a long time, and I do want to see them succeed. It's just that it's no longer a game for me personally. But I am happy to talk to people about it still, and glad to hear from everybody who's commenting on my videos and sort of checking out like the progress I'm making. So I'm glad that you guys are staying in touch in this way. So anyways, that's gonna be it from me for this video. Comment down below, let me know what you think. Am I completely off the mark here? Like, is this something that like it's just something that I'm completely wrong about? Let me know. And take a look at also the description. Like I said, I play Gemstone Legends. I do really enjoy it. If you want to try it, if you want to check it out, download the game from my link, because you can get a free epic hero, which is really awesome for your early game. Okay, anyways, that's gonna be it for me for today, guys. Take care. I'll see you next episode. Bye now.